In this year, all the papers concentrated as usual the current trends, and the current affairs is very, very important, and we should be clear in the basic subject, and on that we need to play. This is what is required, and we will go through area by area. In paper 2, in the constitution, see this. I have not taken the question as it is, but the gist of the question was taken into consideration here. For the exact question, you see the question paper, right? The constitutional morality, that was the question. Balance between judicial independence and judicial accountability. Judicial independence, judicial accountability was highlighted here in relation to the constitutional morality. Why this question was given? Because number of newspapers and also news channels and a number of debates were also conducted on this particular issue, especially in relation to the collegium transparency and also judicial overreach and the different institutional trust, and every time this area was questioned, and hence automatically as would-be administrators, you should know what is the reality and what is going on, and hence we need to focus on that. So we need to take the basic thing, then on that, what about this constitutional morality? This is what we need to highlight in this place. So when there is a debate on any particular issue, when all the newspapers are carrying one particular news item which is in relation to either legislature or executive or judiciary, and we need to have the basic info on that. That's it. This is the conclusion. So rooted in recent Supreme Court observations on ethical conduct and accountability of the judges, and one judge with huge money was also caught. Then impeachment process was also started. So these are all the issues, and hence that question was framed. Then limitations on Parliament's amending power, procedural versus substantive. Procedural limitations as well as substantive limitations. Why this was asked? Again, fueled by the debates on basic structure doctrine, frequency of constitutional amendments which occurred. Okay, and here very recently even 129, 130, all those things were tabled, and previously also number of things were tabled. Then judicial review of the amendments. So, and hence naturally the limitations on the Parliament amending power. Parliament can amend, but there are limitations. Okay, nobody is questioning the amending power of the Parliament, but procedural as well as substantive limitations are there, and that were purely discussed. Suppose, say for example, if you take the 129 and 120, 130, what happened? That was given to the joint parliamentary committee. When they have to conclude, this is a limitation, and in some of the amendments you need to take 50% of the states concurrence. Okay, in some of the cases 2/3 majority, in some of the cases simple majority. So number of limitations are there. Then we need to know what are the limitations, because that was in the discussion. This is what you need to understand, please. So when there is any topic on discussion, we need to focus on that, and we need to discuss first, and we need to be familiar with that particular aspect. If any layman requests, what is going on in relation to this, then you should be in a position to explain, yes, this is the thing, constitution has given this thing, and here the people are doing like this, and this is the thing which is going on. You should explain, and you should develop interest, over the subject, and you should develop when the newspaper discussion is going on, you should be very, very active, please. And you should not, be in the passive mode, and you have to be in the active mode, and you try to give, focus to the discussion and debate. This is what is important. So this is everyday effort. That is why I am taking all these things, please. And every day when the discussion on newspaper is going on, don't take the discussion as casual. You please mind this. The entire paper is revolving around only the things which are going, on, different things which are there in the constitution. Evolution and critique of the collegium system. Okay. Then India, USA, in relation to the appointment of the judges in US and also India. And here we are having, comparative constitutions, and India versus US in the appointment of the judges, and one more discussion, pardoning power. Both the questions were given. Okay. So here, ongoing controversy over judicial appointments, then reforms, transparency, comparative global practices. Recently also, last week also, there was a discussion, okay, in relation to the collegium of High Court and also Supreme Court. Supreme Court categorically said that, and we will not give any direction to the High Court collegium. So in this, you need to develop why this particular statement was given. Okay, in relation to the governor, for example, discussions are going on. Okay, that 3 months limit and 1 month limit, was fixed for 3 months for president and 1 month for governor. And why all these things? Because that is in discussion. And what about Article 200 and what about Article 201? And in relation to the assent of the bills, etc., you need to focus when there is a discussion. And in this one, 10 members moved from TRS to Congress party. Now, if you see today's paper, they are saying that we will be in the TRS only, not in Congress. So, this is the corrupt practice, and hence, question is given in relation to the 1951 Representatives Act, right? So, why this question was asked? That is my point. That is what I am. Why this word is there in the newspaper, and hence the question was framed. That is what we want to see. Evolving center-state financial relations, impact of recent reforms on fiscal federalism. Why this question was given? Refers to the debates on GST. For every 3 months, the GST council is meeting, and they are taking some of the decisions. And here, the representatives from different states are also participating. And hence, automatically in the fiscal, federalism, we need to know, post-pandemic fiscal dynamics. Number of changes are there. And recently, 2 days back also, Prime Minister categorically said that, and Amit Shah also informed the same in relation to GST. Instead of 3 slabs, maybe in future we may have 2 slabs, and for some of the prices of some of the commodities may be reduced, and some price of some of the commodities may be increased even, right? So when that is going on, and we need to know center-state financial relations. So center-state administrative relations, center-state legislative relations, center-state financial relations. Clear articles are there, and we should know what is there in each and every article. We need to focus on that, because central-state relation is a focus area always. Then, environmental pressure groups, role in awareness, policy influence, advocacy. So what they are doing, any pressure group for that matter, they will create awareness so that people will be mobilized, and that policy will be influenced automatically. That policy will be influenced automatically by these pressure groups, and they will advocate some of the things. So advocacy. So here the role of the civil society or environmental pressure groups for that matter, it may be a civil society organization even, and who is working for the environmental protection in the country. So their role is there in creating the awareness, in policy influence, and also advocacy. Why this question was given? Why this question was given? Because environmental mobilizations are going on, Niyamgiri protests and farmers movement, then Delhi air quality activism, then civil society leverage in environmental governance. So all these are there in, and your week will not be completed without a discussion on this. Are you getting my point? Then you see these corrupt practices, just now I have discussed. Corrupt practices under the Representation of People's Act 1951, asset accumulation as undue influence. Asset ekkada accumulate avuta undi? Who is accumulating the asset? Are politicians. Politicians are the close associates of politicians. Okay, their binamis. When you are having money, automatically there will be undue pressure. So that corrupt practice. Change the party will give some money. Especially when the majority is not there. Majority is to the balancing. Then undue practices are there. Public ethics, especially in the light of recurring discussions in media and watchdogs over politicians, wealth and opacity of the electoral financing. Okay. Then debates around electoral integrity, greater transparency, proposed reforms. So all these things are there. And hence, question was framed. So when you see any news item in the newspaper, and you should develop interest over that. Why this news item came? And what is its relevance with economy? What is its relevance with science and technology or constitution, okay, or culture? You need to, analyze that like this. Then you need to link it with the syllabus. Then you need to frame the question. And that should be discussed. Okay, this should be our strategy from now onwards. Okay, we need not to focus on any other, so and so big books and other things to write the mains examination. And here, the overall picture about that particular subject is, the broader perspective is very, very important, and try to get that. Without revision, you should be in a position to participate in the discussion on that particular topic. And if there is any discussion on corrupt practices in relation to the Representatives Act of 1951, you should discuss at least not less than half an hour. In this state, this is what happened. In Tamil Nadu, this is what happened. In Telangana, this is what is going on. In AP, same thing happened last government. Is it clear? You should give half a dozen examples. Because you are, seeing in newspapers daily. So this is what you should do. And when you develop interest to discuss, and you need not know the polity even, forget about that. Structured polity, and here this is central government, this is state government, this is local government. We will learn all those things, that is a different story. But where the examiner is, pointing the applied aspect of all these things. What is that applied aspect? That is what is going on in the society regularly. Economically, what is going on. Technologically, what is going on. Okay, energy-wise, what is going on. In energy was given in all the papers. Because the question paper set by different people. General studies 1, 2, 3, 4 are set by the different people, and hence all the people concentrated on that particular current topic. Okay, that is why duplications are going on. Is it clear? See, need for administrative tribunals versus courts. So why the administrative tribunal was established first of all? What is the necessity? What is the dispute mechanism? Amma? Not only IAS, IPS, in relation to the service areas, either in the recruitment process or after recruitment, service matters. And here in the regular course there is a overburden and all the cadets are in relation to the service matters or in relation to the appointments. And here by huge discussion and the service matters and appointment matters were separated in the form of as they are related to the administration, and hence administrative tribunals were created. Isn't it? So impact of 2021. So this is discussed in 2021 current affairs. What is the indication of this one? And enti? Current affairs need not be in this particular current year. That is what you need to conclude. At least 3 to 4 years in some of the areas we should go back. We should go back. And you should know, because administrative tribunal is definitely an important subject, and here recently this happened, and hence you should know what happened in 2021 in relation to the reforms and other things. Judicial backlog system, access to the justice and efficiency of dispute resolution, etc., etc. This discussion is going on, and hence that question was given. Nature of Jammu Kashmir, again see when that happened.
2019.
So that means it is recent only. 2019 means it is recent only. It is not 2009. 2019, because it is related to Jammu Kashmir, and you should know that. Okay. And every time always continues to be in the pivotal government, governance development in India's federal structure. Always that is important in relation to the 370. Several discussions also happened, and you should not, because there is no other state which is having the this legislative power, and hence that is the speciality abrogated Article 370, and hence it is naturally important. What is the speciality of that, etc., etc. Right? Role of Attorney General of India, responsibilities, rights, limitations. Why? Because Attorney General role was questioned in recent times. For the past 2 years, the Attorney General went to Supreme Court several times, and a number of discussions happened in the newspapers. So researching interest in the interference between law and governance, especially in government litigation and policy advice, politically relevant amid discussions on AG's neutrality and its dual responsibilities. And hence what is the exact responsibility of Attorney General is naturally a question. Okay. And you need to expect all these things. And if you expect 100 questions, definitely 25 questions will come. You need to expect 100. Expect from now onwards, in polity, discussions and debates should happen in the classroom, in our classroom, and you need to, work on that. And you need to write the same thing, point wise. After so many discussions, we will conclude and we will write. That is what you need to do. And this is also constitution in relation to the societal impact. And here there is a link. Polity in relation to the society. Okay. See, paradox of poverty, inequality in resource ownership as a cause. If you are accessible to the resource, not accessible to the resource, and accessibility and inaccessibility will also be a cause for your growth and development. That is the question. Okay. So it is a vicious circle. Yes. Reflects inequality focused studies, Will's paradox, and debates on land reforms, resource distribution, linked with agricultural distress, wealth inequality, and poverty trap dynamics. So ఇవన్నీ జరుగుతుంటే క్వశ్చన్ అడిగేశాడు. ఓకే. Development models. These two are in relation to the economic aspect of the society. Development models that centralize decision making versus local problem solving critic. That is also there. Okay, the development models, different varieties of models are there in the development. Okay, from the top, from the bottom. So what about the centralized decision making? Centralized decision making ante enti? Planning commission, for example, Niti Aayog, changed. Okay. Now everywhere we are discussing about local issues, and slowly we removed this one. The planning was removed. Finally, we are preparing the concept papers on each and every item by the Niti Aayog, and we need to go through the Niti Aayog concept papers on each and every aspect, and we need to discuss that. And we need to take the annual reports prepared by the Government of India, and we need to take the PAB sources. Are you getting my point? So reflects the policy discussions around decentralization, Panchayat Raj, Niti Aayog deliberations, and democratic governance. Role of NCPCR, several times this was there. National Commission for Protection of Children Rights in the digital era. Digital era అంటే ఇప్పుడు పిల్లలు ఎట్ట తయారవుతున్నారు? పిల్లలు ఏముంది, పెద్దలు కూడా ఎట్ట తయారవుతున్నారు? సెల్ ఫోన్ పట్టుకొని ఈ పక్కన ఒకటి, ఈ పక్కన ఒకటి, ఓకే, వెనకాల పాకెట్లో ఒకటి కనపడకుండా ఈ రెండు తీసుకుంటే మరి ఓకే. డిజిటల్ ఎరాలో ఏం చేయాలి ఇప్పుడు? వాళ్ళ చైల్డ్ రైట్స్ని దే ఆర్ అనేబుల్ టు నో దే ఆర్ హ్యావింగ్ సర్టన్ రైట్స్. దే ఆర్ అండర్ ది ఇన్ఫ్లుయెన్స్ ఆఫ్ okay, recognition of issues like online child protection, data privacy, digital abuse, linked to media reports on social media harms, informed parental controls, then child safety laws. In it మీద discussion జరుగుతాం, and hence that question was given. Okay, socialization process, enculturation process is getting affected. E-governance bias toward back-end integration versus user-centric design. ఎందుకు ఈ క్వశ్చన్ ఇచ్చాడు? ఇప్పుడు డిజిలాకర్ పెట్టాడు. డిజిలాకర్లో మన డాక్యుమెంట్స్ పెట్టుకోవచ్చు. ఎంతమంది లిటరేట్స్ ఉన్నారు? కంప్యూటర్ లిటరేట్స్. మా రూమ్మేట్ ఒకడు సబ్ రిజిస్ట్రార్ ఉన్నాడు. సబ్ రిజిస్ట్రార్ ఏం చేయాలి? కంప్యూటర్ యూజ్ చేయాలి. ఓకే, ఈయన యూజ్ చేయడు. అవతల పక్కన ఇంకొక ఆయన కూర్చొని ఉంటాడు. ఆయన కొడతా ఉంటాడు. ఉద్యోగం ఎవరు చేస్తున్నట్టు? కంప్యూటర్ ఆపరేటర్ చేస్తున్నాడు. ఎందుకని? కంప్యూటర్ లిటరేట్. ఉద్యోగాలు చేసే వాళ్ళే కంప్యూటర్ లిటరేట్స్ అయితే మరి డిజిలాకర్ ఉంది, నువ్వు డిజియాత్రకి ఎయిర్పోర్ట్లో ప్రత్యేకమైనటువంటి క్యూ పెట్టి పొమ్మంటారు. ఆ డిజియాత్ర ఎప్పుడు డౌన్లోడ్ చేయాలి? అది ఎప్పుడు బోర్డింగ్ పాస్ దానికి అప్లోడ్ చేయాలి? ఎలాగ? అది అంత టెక్నాలజీ ఉండాలి కదా. కాబట్టి ఇక్కడ ఈ గవర్నెన్స్ ఈజ్ దాట్. ఓకే, బయాస్ టువర్డ్స్ బ్యాక్ అండ్ ఇంటిగ్రేషన్ వర్సెస్ యూజర్ సెంట్రిక్ డిజైన్. అది కొంచెం ఆ గ్యాప్ అనేటువంటిది మనకి మెయింటైన్ అవుతూ ఉంది స్టిల్. సో టైమ్లీ క్రిటిక్ ఆఫ్ మేజర్ డిజిటల్ ఇనిషియేటివ్స్ సచ్ యాజ్ డిజిలాకర్, ఉమాంగ్ ఆర్ ఆధార్ బేస్డ్ సర్వీసెస్, increasing emphasis on digital inclusivity, accessibility and user experience. Okay, how many of you are having a digiyatra? Okay, digilocker అందరికి, మిగతా వాళ్ళకి అది ఉందని కూడా తెలియదు. నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ పీపుల్ ఆర్ దేర్. ఓకే, దే నో ఓన్లీ YouTube, Facebook, and they don't know Instagram, other grams are there. Women's social capital in empowerment and gender equity. Social capital. So women related things are given in the syllabus, and hence whenever that is, always it will be in news. Child in news, women in news, because both are vulnerable groups, and hence you should know what is going on. in relation to that. Enhance because women's collectives, village organizations, self-help groups, MMS, ZMS, and all those things, microfinance, everything is going on. Connects with the policies like Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, rural empowerment programs for the women, several things. Civil society organizations, they are anti-state or non-state actors. And here, for all the civil society organizations, the state government is viewing them as revolutionary terrorist. పొద్దుస్మాన వచ్చి మీరు ఆడ ఫ్యాక్టరీ పెడతారా అని అంటే ఇటు జెండా పట్టుకొని వస్తాడు. ఇటు పెట్టేదానికి లేదు, ఇక్కడంతా ట్రైబల్స్ ఉన్నారు, ఆడున్నారు, ఏడున్నారు, వాళ్ళ జీవితాలన్నీ పోతా ఉన్నాయి, మీరు పట్టించుకోవట్లేదని. అంటే నువ్వు యాంటీ స్టేటా అని ఎవరు అడుగుతున్నారు? మనం అడగట్లా, స్టేట్ అడుగుతుంది. స్టేట్ గవర్నమెంట్ అఫీషియల్ అడుగుతున్నాడు, మీకు ఇంకేం పని పట్టలేదా పొద్దుస్మాన వస్తుంది. అది ప్రాబ్లం కాదా? కాబట్టి డిస్కషన్ జరుగుతూ ఉంది. ఇన్ ద బ్యాక్డ్రాప్ ఆఫ్ NGO regulations, okay, the paper examines perceptions of CSOs as agents of dissent or development. Ongoing debates ni ఇచ్చేస్తుంది. ఇచ్చాడు. Sovereign nationalism in post-Cold War world, waning globalization. గ్లోబలైజేషన్ యొక్క ఇన్ఫ్లుయెన్స్ పరిస్థితి ఏంటి అని మనము చూస్తున్నాను. సావరెన్ నేషనలిజం మీన్స్ ఇప్పుడు ఏం జరుగుతూ ఉంది? ట్రంప్ ఏం చేస్తున్నాడు? వాళ్ళని వాళ్ళు ప్రొటెక్ట్ చేసుకునే దాన్ని మనం ఏం చేస్తున్నాం? మనల్ని మనం ప్రొటెక్ట్ చేస్తూ ఉన్నాం. ఫ్రీ ట్రేడ్ అగ్రిమెంట్లు ఏమవుతూ ఉన్నాయి? స్లోగా ఫ్రీ ట్రేడ్ అగ్రిమెంట్లు దానికి కొంచెం వాల్యూ లేకుండా పోయి బయలేటరల్ వరకు వస్తూ ఉంది. ఓకే, బయలేటరల్ కూడా తీసేసి ఓన్లీ వన్ నేషన్, నా కంట్రీ, నా పరిస్థితి, నాకు లాభం లేకుండా నేను చేయను అనేటువంటి పరిస్థితిలోకి వెళ్ళిపోతున్నాం. అందుకని క్వశ్చన్ ఇచ్చాడు, సావరెన్ నేషనలిజం. సో ఎవ్రీ కంట్రీ ఈజ్ ట్రయింగ్ ఇట్స్ లెవెల్ బెస్ట్ టు ప్రొటెక్ట్. కంపారిటివ్ కాన్స్టిట్యూషన్లో దట్ వాజ్ అన్ ఇష్యూ. ప్రెసిడెంట్స్ అడాప్షన్ పవర్స్, ఇండియా వర్సెస్ pardon powers, India versus USA, limits preemptive pardons. Last time USA this happened, and hence the pardon power between India and, so always when there is anything which is going on in America or Russia or China, and we need to know what is there in India, and a comparison is always important. Okay, ఇచ్చుడు ఐఆర్లో ఏమి ఇచ్చాడో చూడు. ఐఆర్లో UN రిఫార్మ్స్, మేము స్టూడెంట్ ఉన్న దగ్గర నుంచి UN రిఫార్మ్స్ క్వశ్చనే. ఓకే, ఆ భద్రతా మండలిలోకి ఇండియా పోయేది లేదు, పోలేదు పర్మనెంట్ మెంబర్గా. అది ఎందుకు పోవాలని మనం రాస్తానే ఉంటాం బేసిస్ అంతా పెట్టి. ఇక్కడ ఏమైంది? ఇప్పుడు US వర్సెస్ రష్యో చైనీస్ ఎంటాంగిల్మెంట్ అండ్ ఈస్ట్ వెస్ట్ కన్ఫ్రంటేషన్స్ జరుగుతూ ఉన్నాయి. ఈస్ట్ వాళ్ళ మాట, ఈస్ట్ అంటే ఎవరు? రష్యా అండ్ చైనా. వెస్ట్ వాళ్ళు ఎవరు? USA అండ్ అదర్ కంట్రీస్. ఓకే, ఇక్కడ సోషలిస్ట్ కంట్రీస్కి, క్యాపిటలిస్ట్ కంట్రీస్కి కాంపిటీషన్ నడుస్తాం. ఆ నేపథ్యంలో UN రిఫార్మ్స్ పరిస్థితి ఏంటి? రకరకాల రీజనల్ ఆర్గనైజేషన్స్ ఎట్సెట్రా నడుస్తూనే ఉన్నాయి. ఇది చూడండి, ఎనర్జీ గురించి ప్రతి పేపర్లో ఇచ్చాడు. ఎనర్జీ సెక్యూరిటీ యాజ్ ఏ ఫారిన్ పాలసీ లించ్ పిన్. మిడిల్ ఈస్ట్ టైస్, దాని గురించి ఏంటి పరిస్థితి అంటే, మిడిల్ ఈస్ట్తో ప్రతి కంట్రీ కూడా ఎందుకు పోయి అక్కడ ఇంత మునుపు ఉన్నటువంటి ఎడారిలో ఎవరన్నా 7th centuryలో మిడిల్ ఈస్ట్ వైపుకి ఎవరన్నా చూసారా? డిడ్ ఎనీవన్ లుక్ టువర్డ్స్ మిడిల్ ఈస్ట్ ఇన్ 7th century, 8th century? మొన్న 20th century వరకు ఆయిల్ వచ్చినంత వరకు 1950s వరకు దాని జోలికి పోయిన వాళ్ళు లేదు. అదే డెజర్ట్, అక్కడ ఏం లేదు. అండ్ ఆల్ ది పీపుల్ హ్యాస్ టు సర్వైవ్ విత్ వాట్? with meager resources ఏముంది, and hence they need to fight. So as a result of this 4,000 to 5,000 years fighting, all the Middle East people or Central Asian people were very tall and strong. ఎందుకు? Because in the desert area, arid and semi-arid conditions, resource meagerness will be there, and they need to fight with. Without strong and robust, then you cannot fight with the situation. కానీ ఇప్పుడు ఏమవుతా ఉంది, all the countries are now focusing towards the Middle East because of oil and natural gas. Okay, energy security as a foreign policy. So when you are developing your foreign policy towards the Middle Eastern countries, you are thinking now twice. And all the countries are also having the same phenomena. And how? Energy security. Every country want to take their energy and their resources. Indo-Africa Digital Partnership, current affairs, and mutual respect to co-development to long-term institutional partnerships. Okay, recent development is India digital diplomacy. Okay, its role in bodies like AU, South-South cooperation, etc. Broader shifts are, going on, towards the soft power and digital connectivity as a foreign policy tools. So energy is becoming a tool in the foreign policy designing. Then this digital connectivity is also one of the important tool in designing the foreign policy. See, these are the questions in relation to paper 2 general studies. Conclusion enti? Once our basic subject is over, then you cannot by heart and remember all the things which are there in the basic subject. It is not possible. But when there is anything in the newspaper, maybe current newspaper or past newspaper, we need to identify some of the topics, and we need to take only the basics of those topics, and we need to discuss at least only on the day's current affairs for 4 hours or 5 hours or 6 hours. And we will change, once this anthropology is over, and what we will do daily we will concentrate only on 1 hour anthropology revision, daily 5 questions or 10 questions, and finish the job. And weekly 1 test, close the business. Okay, then what we should do with the GS and SA? And we will combine GS and SA. We will combine GS and SA, and we will prepare some 50 essays, and all the 50 essays will cover 50 different areas which are going on in and around the world and India, and we will close the matter. So we will discuss, we will debate, and you have to explain here, and all the people should listen, then questions, then conclusion. పిచ్చాపాటిగా సబ్జెక్ట్ను మనం మాట్లాడుకోవాలి. ఏంటా గవర్నర్ గొడవ, అదేదో జరుగుతూ ఉంది అని అంటే గవర్నరు కూర్చోబెట్టరా, నువ్వు కూర్చోబెట్టి చెప్తా, ఆర్టికల్ 200 ఇది, ఆర్టికల్ 201 ఇది, 152 నుంచి 163 వరకు గవర్నర్కి సంబంధించినటువంటి ఆర్టికల్స్ ఉన్నాయి. ఎందుకని? గవర్నర్ డిస్కషన్లో ఉన్నాడు కాబట్టి. అన్నీ మనము సీఎం గురించి ఆర్టికల్స్ మనం గుర్తుంచుకోం, అవసరం లేదు. ఇప్పుడు గవర్నర్ డిస్కషన్లో ఉన్నాడు కాబట్టి గవర్నర్కి సంబంధించిన ఆర్టికల్స్, దానికి సంబంధించినటువంటి బచానా మొత్తం మనం పిచ్చాపాటిగా మాట్లాడుకోవాలి. ఓకే, అటార్నీ జనరల్ ఈరోజు సుప్రీంకోర్టుకి ఎందుకు పోయి ఇచ్చాడు? అక్కడ ఏమని చివాట్లు పెట్టారా, లేకపోతే ఆయన కుర్చీ వేసి కాఫీ ఇచ్చారా? ఏం చేశారు? ఏమని చెప్పాడు ఆయన? ఏం ఆన్సర్ ఇచ్చాడు? వాళ్ళు ఏం క్వశ్చన్ అడిగారు? దీనికి పెద్దగా అని మనం చదువుతున్నాము, ఎరగబడిసి మనం అంతా కష్టపడుతున్నామని మీరు ఫీల్ అవ్వనక్కర్లేదు. ఎందుకంటే పిచ్చాపాటిగా మాట్లాడుకుంటున్నాం సబ్జెక్టు. పేపర్లో వచ్చిన దానికి మనం విషయాలు మాట్లాడుకుంటూ ఉంటాం. కాబట్టి ఎక్కువగా టెన్షన్ పడాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. కింద కావాలంటే కూర్చుంటాం, చైర్లో కావాలంటే కూర్చుంటాం, మధ్యలో కావాలంటే బల కుర్చీ వేస్తాం, ఎట్ట కావాలంటే అట్టు కూర్చొని చదువుతాం. ఎక్కడ టెన్షను, హడావుడి, గందరగోళం ఏం లేదు. ఏమన్నా ఫిక్స్డ్ ఏరియా ఉందా? ఏది పేపర్లో వస్తే, ఏది న్యూస్లో వస్తే దాన్నే మనం మాట్లాడుకుంటూ ఉంటాం. దట్స్ ఇట్. ఇట్ ఈజ్ యాజ్ సింపుల్ యాజ్ దట్. కాబట్టి మనము ఇంకొక 1 మంత్ పెట్టుకుందాం అనుకోండి. ఏది యాంత్రో కూడా ఇంకా నేను కొన్ని బేసిక్ ఎవల్యూషన్ అవన్నీ డిస్కస్ చేయలే. ఇంకా మీకు ఓరక సూపర్ఫిషియల్గా చెప్పాను. క్యాస్ట్ ఏరియాస్లోకి వెళ్ళాలా ఇంకా నేను. కాబట్టి అవన్నీ మనం నీట్గా కంప్లీట్ చేసుకున్న తర్వాత దెన్ we will have these discussions. ఇప్పుడు సబ్జెక్ట్ డిస్కషన్స్ అన్నీ మనకు రిలవెన్స్తోనే, రిలవెన్స్ అని అనుకుంటూ మనం వెళ్ళిపోతూ ఉన్నాం. దెన్ యూ విల్ గెట్ క్లారిటీ ఆన్ ఆల్ ది సబ్జెక్ట్స్. అది గ్రూప్ 1నా, గ్రూప్ 2నా, సివిల్సా, బిట్లు అయితే మాత్రం, క్వశ్చన్స్ అయితే మాత్రం ఇవే. ఇంతకు మించి ఇంక అడిగేదానికి స్కోపే లేదు. ఆర్ యూ గెటింగ్ మై పాయింట్?